guys, welcome to another Celebrity Apprentice All-Stars recap. So, the beginning of the show, they remind us what BS it was last week when Brett was fired. Really? That was so ridiculous. So then Trumpy creeps into the suite after the boardroom and is like, excuse me, you guys, you're going on a road trip on my giant-ass plane to Florida. And God, I hope it's not windy, because my hair's going to be flapping around like a kite. Actually, he's not going, so he doesn't have to worry, and neither is Trace, because he's got to work. He booked a cruise a year ago, and you know what? He keeps his commitments when he makes them. So the project managers are Dee Snider and Omarosa, even though they don't know what they're managing. Omarosa, she wants to do it for her late fiancé. So the plane was amazing, and Dennis Rodman had wished it was full of beautiful women prancing around, dancing, doing whatever they do. It was a 757, and I have to say it looked pretty plush. So they find out when the pilot says, this is your pilot speaking, Mr. Trump has a video he wants you to watch. So Trump explains he wants you to create a 3D photo experience at Universal Studios in beautiful Florida, full of sinkholes. Trace, in the meantime, gets to deliver his hefty check to the American Red Cross in New York. That was pretty cool. I love when they get to deliver the goods, because it's very touching most of the time. The people who are getting it really appreciate it. So if that's all that comes out of this show, then hallelujah, because at least somebody's getting something that they need. So let's talk about the different teams. Team Power, that's Omarosa's team, in case you didn't realize it. She came up with the idea of creating 3 separate experiences in her little box, or whatever, you know, whatever little stage they gave them. And she decided that Dennis Rodman was going to stay with her, and she was going to send everyone else out to take pictures and buy crap. And when the fabricators came to build the little interactive experience, she was asking the world of them. And they were just like, no, we're not doing it. So they kind of compromised a little bit, and finally they were able to give her something that she wanted. So, you know, they went above and beyond the call from the amount of time that they had. So then Plan B, the other team, Penn came up with some cool-ish ideas involving floating heads and magic, but what did it have to do exactly with the whole marketing campaign? Dee was really trying to anticipate what Donald and the execs really wanted of, you know, from his experience in the past with the show. So he didn't really think Penn's idea could be workable. And everybody went out for pics and buying crap. And we find out that Gary is pretty much insane and doesn't know how to use a camera even, much less a computer. So Dee finally came up with the idea for his display as being celebrity cutouts in merchandise, basically from the park, not even costumes. I mean, Gary was just wearing a Cat in the Hat hat and nothing else except a pair of glasses and his regular clothes with his big gut hanging out. I mean, come on. They really didn't try too hard in the way of the costuming. But they did have a good marketing slogan that was right on the backdrop of their thing, but it was pretty plain as well. So during the whole meet and greet of the people in the park, Gary is quite the tickle monster. It made me uncomfortable several times because he was very close to young girls' boobs, because he's quite tall. Alright, and we find out that Mary Lou is a savant pretty much. She has like a life photographic memory. She remembers every single day of her life. It's really weird, but very interesting, I have to say. So congratulations, Mary Lou. That's quite a talent you have there. So back in New York, in the old Bordeaux room, Mary Lou calls out Gary as being kind of crap. And Gary is upset, yet not upset. It's really kind of weird. Omarosa, you should really know the people's names on your team. It's Lil John, not Little John. It was really driving me crazy. So she said that Little John was her wingman, basically, on the task. And we find out that Rodman's mom was pretty nasty. Are you surprised? Because I don't think I am. D, he stressed the use of celebrity because, like I was saying, in the past, he knew that Donald was like, well, you fired if you didn't, you didn't utilize your celebrity status. So he wanted to make sure that he incorporated that. They showed the two campaigns, and Omarosa is pretty underwhelmed by Dee's campaign. You know what? Both of the presentations, the final products, I found were quite weak. When they say interactive experience, I wasn't expecting some cardboard cutouts, or I wasn't expecting some, walled off little tiny rooms. Most of the pictures that were lining the walls and stuff, even if you had gotten in there and taken pictures, it couldn't have been seen in the photos. So, I don't know. I don't think either of them had a really strong presentation, but then again, they didn't give him a lot of time either. So, the big brouhaha was, oh, you can use Omarosa's after the celebrities leave the park. Well, guess what? You can use the stupid cardboard cutouts after too, because the celebrities are in them. The one that Omarosa did, she had like LaToya and the Playboy one in there, and I think Lil Jon was in there. You really, once the celebrities left, it was the same situation as with the other one. So I don't get the whole argument there. So then Donald pretty much knew what he was doing. He went on and on about his hair. Should it be more like Eric's? Look at this. I actually have a few little baby hairs if I lift up this giant flap of hair. So who cares? He was just filling time. So Omarosa wins. She cries. Rodman is pretty funny at this point. He runs over to Gary Busey and is like, you were nominated for an Oscar, right? Well, she's gonna get one too. She really, really, really overdid it, I think. And I think a lot of people on her team kind of realized it, as did a lot of people at home. She played it up just a little bit too much. LaToya was pretty pissed. She was like, here, drink some champagne and shut up. Well, she didn't say that, but if we could paraphrase her actions, that's probably what it would have sounded like. So, the boardroom. Penn says, Dee didn't use my ideas. True. So then Donald is like, Penn, you fired. Oh, just kidding. And it would have been actually pretty funny if he had just done that, but again, some more Trumpy antics, because I think he knows exactly what he's doing. Gary's skill set is limited, so he's going to have to come back to the boardroom. And Penn, you should have been more forceful in trying to get Dee to use your ideas. Alright, so Dee brings back, of all choices, Steven, because he said he didn't trust him from the previous task where he held back his contributions. And Gary. Even though Trump thinks he's a great actor and shouldn't be called back for that reason, he's going to bring him back. And then when they go out to sit with the secretary, we find out what Dee's true feelings are, that he wanted to just say, fire me, because I'm responsible. It was my idea. But he didn't want Trump to fire anybody else off the show, because he was reminiscing about the whole Adam Carolla thing where he fell on his sword and he didn't want to have a boardroom. And Trump was like, you're going to have a boardroom or I'm going to fire more people. And on that instance, he fired Michael Andretti as well as Adam Carolla. So he just wanted to avoid having that happen again, which I can't blame him for, because it truly was Dee's fault. He signed off on the whole thing. It was his idea. So he ultimately deserved to be fired. And he was. Mostly, too, because Don Jr. said that his kids would think this was crap. It wasn't catering to the kids. And what are these stupid theme parks for? The kids and people on their honeymoons who haven't grown up. Just saying. Alright, so next time, it's drama. Not only on the stage, but I'm sure during the entire show, because LaToya and Omarosa go at it. Should be interesting. Till next week, much love.